Alright, just a short clip here real quick of what's going on. Extremely bad flash flooding here in Pullman. River just completely blew its banks. This shop over here, their door blew open. We got water completely just wiping. River just completely blew its banks. Oh my God. All of Pullman, look. Under many feet of water. This is just the Palouse River that runs right through, right down there.
Where?
This is normally a river, and it rained so much that it blew its banks right over that bridge over there. Down there, and
That's what
it's just
happened.
flooding the town completely out. So it's real bad. It's like nothing like this has ever happened in this area. Right.
You know what happened yet?
Yeah, the river blew its banks. It rained so much, so hard, for so long, it couldn't handle it anymore. And it's wiping Pullman out. It's just heartbreaking to see. Huh? Do you see down there? All the way down there?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's like 10 feet of water down there. It's all the way up to the... I mean, I can zoom in and you can see it. It's halfway up the... Oh, they're going to have major... Oh, yeah. All these businesses. Push 21 all the way down. Is...
Wearing the wrong shoes.
Yeah. Keep filming.
I know.
that a police officer stranded over there? Tell. Somebody's stuck. Well, a bunch of people are, but. Grand, guys. Used to be. Businesses, man. I don't know if it's crested or not, but Jack in the Box, you're about to get flooded out.
Me too.
We want to get straight to the significant flooding on the Palouse tonight. Pullman police advising that people should be avoiding the area of Grand and Stadium Way. Some people are even being evacuated still. Drivers also being told to find alternate routes.
So this video was posted on Twitter earlier this evening by the popular bar The Coug. There is significant flooding down Grand Avenue. Evacuations are underway tonight to help those unable to get out of a business or a vehicle. Matt Haugen from WSU Communications posted this video tonight. It shows firefighters using a front loader to rescue a man from a flooded building.
Now, we've learned at least 4 businesses along Grand had to be evacuated. One alone meant turning off the power and rescuing 16 people. We're told several apartment buildings also have water inside, and once that water does go down, there is a lot of damage expected. Now, here is a look at the flood area from the road from Grand Avenue. It stretches about 9 blocks, which is from Stadium Way to Whitman.
The Pullman Police Department have been posting updates on Twitter tonight as conditions change. They say the water is receding right now. That's the good news, but it's still a developing situation. WSU Pullman also tweeted out the roads may be underwater tomorrow morning, or they could be covered with debris, so people in that area need to use caution. We should point out at this point we have not heard any reports of anybody being injured, and first responders, they want to keep it that way. So if you can, police say, stay home and stay safe.
Now, this is video that was sent to us by Crystal K. Gales inside one of those flooded businesses along Grand. This is the water rushing into Raleigh's ice cream shop, and you can see how fast that water was moving. You can also see when you look outside how deep the water really was around some of those cars in the parking lot. Crystal says everyone was obviously very scared, but they did make it out okay.
That's the good news tonight, right? Wow. Well, we want to get to our Casey Decker now. He is live in Pullman tonight near a pedestrian bridge by campus that some officials, Casey, are concerned about.
Yeah, Mark, right now this pedestrian bridge is the primary area of concern for the city of Pullman. That's because it's standing above the very still heavily rushing South Fork of the Palouse River. And I'm actually going to step behind here and kind of try to show you what exactly this river and this bridge are looking like right now. And you can see it is rushing pretty heavily. I'll zoom in over here. And it's pretty dark, but you can still sort of see, maybe not, that the bridge is above a very heavily rushing fork of the Palouse River right now. And one of the interesting things about this bridge is that it's actually designed to break away if the flooding gets up to a certain point. So that's something that they're monitoring right now to see if this bridge is going to break away. Although I am told by the city administrator right now, they're not too concerned that it's going to get up to quite that level. So this river, this waterway right now is still getting a little bit more flooded. Meanwhile, however, the Missouri Flat Creek around the corner, that one is receding a little bit, and that is the waterway that caused Grand to flood earlier. Now, as you guys mentioned, Grand flooding for several blocks from Whitman all the way up to Stadium Way, and that caused several apartment buildings and businesses to get flooded and have to even be evacuated. But like I mentioned, that area is receding. There's kind of just mud in a lot of the areas where there was flooding earlier. So right now, that area is not quite as much of a concern. Right now, they're focusing on this bridge here, making sure that this doesn't end up getting broken away. Now, in terms of cleanup, I'm told that right now the city still doesn't really know exactly how bad it's all going to be. So they're going to be monitoring it throughout the night and into the morning to see exactly what's going to be required there. This did kind of catch everybody by surprise, but the consensus seems to be that the first responders were on top of their game. They got those people evacuated. As you guys mentioned, nobody was injured. So even though a very surprise flood here in Pullman, at the end of the day, it seems that mostly just the businesses are the ones being damaged, and luckily no people. Reporting live from Pullman, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
Casey, thank you very much. A lot to keep track of for sure. And we have been monitoring the flooding in Moscow, in Idaho, where roads are also in bad shape, many of them underwater. The city tweeted out just a short time ago, there is now a sandbag station at the Rosars parking lot. It is free and open to anyone who needs it. And of course, we'll continue to bring you updates as we get them. We'll also have a crew in Pullman for KREM 2 Morning News, and you can always follow us on Twitter and Facebook and on KREM.com for the newest information. In the meantime, if you do have any pictures or videos from the scene, please do send them our way. You can send them to newstips@krem.com.
Crews spent the day clearing storm drains like this one. The floodwaters brought debris and thick mud, and all of that was just too much for drains like this one to handle. Grand Avenue looked more like a river.
We looked outside and this like foot and a half wave all of a sudden was just coming down the street and started flooding in everywhere.
Michaela Palmer and her coworker were inside Roley's ice cream shop when a raging stream of water trapped them inside. During a storm, you hope street drains like this one would prevent flooding. Most of the time they do, but in this case it was too much.
When you get a storm issue like that, when it comes down so quickly, there's no storm drains to be able to handle it.
The National Weather Service is surveying the cause, but say the Missouri Flat Creek is likely to blame. Some people in Pullman say this is a known trouble spot.
This area specifically on the road, it dips a little bit, so it does flood right here, even if the whole city's not flooding.
It's why the city did a major overhaul to make Grand Avenue less prone to flooding.
And one of the things the engineers came up with a number of years ago was to raise that road so the water would actually be driven further down south.
For the most part, Mayor Glenn Johnson says it's worked, but not even a higher road could stop this from happening.
Once that huge wave came through, like you could tell with all the debris it brought, if the drains weren't clogged before, they were clogged then. Like there was no draining of water to go anywhere.
There's a long road ahead for cleanup. I asked the mayor how the city can prepare for this in the future, and put simply, it's not something you can.
The mayor tells me public work crews spent the day assessing the drains, and most of them appear to be in good shape, but they'll continue watching them to make sure they're clear. Reporting in Pullman, I'm Tim Pham, KREM 2 News.